Sunnahfollowers, protectors of the Sunnah, Sunnahfollowers, protectors of the Sunnah.
Alhamdulillah, wa salamallah, wa rasulullah. Welcome to another session of Sunnahfollowers Hadith class. And this is the class wherein we discuss hadiths that pertain or relate to women. And let's put the hadith that's up for discussion tonight. And it's a very simple hadith. And the source of this hadith is Sahih Muslim. And we talked about this hadith in previous other classes. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said there are two types of people of the hellfire whom I have not seen in this lifetime yet. One group are people who have sticks like the tails of ox, and they walk around beating the people with them. And the other type are women who are dressed, but they're still naked. And these women are so seductive due to their scantily dressed bodies that they will seduce you and incline you to want to commit evil. And they will also make their husbands want to do evil things too, such as fornication and adultery. Because of this, their heads will appear like the humps of a camel, inclined to one side. And they will not enter paradise nor smell its scent, even though you can smell it from such and such a distance. Now, a lot of people read this hadith in the English translation, and they misconstrue the meaning of it. Instead of them focusing on what this hadith is speaking about, which are women who wear tight-fitting clothes, women who have on clothing, but you can still see their body parts. You can still see their skin. And instead of them focusing on that, they try to say that a woman can't wear a ponytail or a woman can't put her head up in a ball. And that is not what this hadith is talking about. This is another example as to how the hadiths get twisted sometimes when you translate them from the Arabic to the English. You know, Ibn Abbas tells us that the part that says their heads will be like the humps of a camel leaning to one side, this is speaking about the punishment that Allah will give these women in the hellfire. Allah will cause their heads to triple in size to the size of a camel's hump. And the reason why, the Prophet explained, the reason why Allah will increase the size of a person in hell is so that the pain will be more severe. So this hadith is not speaking about how a woman can wear her hair. This hadith is speaking about how there are two groups of people. The Prophet didn't see them during his lifetime because it wasn't happening then. He was speaking again about us and our lifetime. The men who walk around with sticks beating the people. This is like what you see with the Taliban. The Taliban, these oppressive rulers, oppressive leaders who walk around with sticks in their hands beating the people, you know, for no reason. You know, beating the women and beating the men. He's talking about that. And then the second part are women who have on tight clothing, you know, or their skin is showing and all of that. Allah is going to punish these people, both of them. He's going to cause their heads to become greatly enlarged in that hellfire to the point of being the size of a hump of a camel. Because the larger the body part, the more severe the punishment to show Allah's anger. So it won't just be the women who did this in hell with heads like that. Those men who walked around beating people their heads will take on that appearance too. And these people will never be allowed to enter paradise. Remember, we talked about how some sins can land you a seat in hell forever. We talked about how a man can be a drunk. You can die addicted to drugs, addicted to alcohol, and be raised up as a kafir and not be forgiven because your love for alcohol, your love for drugs superseded your love for Allah. Were the same with you women. You women who like to go around, you refuse to cover your body. You refuse to wear hijab. You refuse to wear jilbab, not because you fear Allah, but because you're afraid of what the people are going to say about you. This is what we were talking about today. This is shirk and fear. Whenever we associate partners with Allah, you fall in the category of an unbeliever. So these women, you're a Muslim woman, and you know that it's haram to walk around showing your body parts, but you do it because, number one, you like it. You like to show your hair. You like to show your breasts. You like to show your skin. And number two, you don't want people to think bad about you. You rather please the people than please Allah. You rather attract men rather than attract Allah. Well, guess what? Should you die in that state? You die as a kafir. And your punishment will be that you will be in that hellfire forever. And your body will take on 3 times its size, especially your head, to be boiled and explode over and over again. So that's the meaning of this hadith. So now that I broke this hadith down and shared the meaning, what does anybody would anybody like to comment on it?
Yeah, I'd like to comment. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? Okay, I'm so glad that you added the men in on it. They heads is going to be exploding just like how the woman's head. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. You walking around here beating people with sticks over there, doing that evil stuff, buddy, your head gonna explode too. So understand that what this hadith is talking about. It ain't only talking about the woman being naked, it's talking about your behind too.
Exactly. Like I said, we focus on the wrong things because the truth hurts. We don't want to hear the truth. We can't handle it. So we rather focus on a ponytail or a hairstyle, which ain't got nothing to do with this hadith. And you brothers want to put it all off on a woman. It's talking about you men who oppress women. You men who oppress other men because they won't conform to you because you think that you are superior over them. There's a lot of women in those countries like Afghanistan who have PhDs in science, doctors, lawyers, professional women. But instead of allowing them to work, the men throw them out in the street and make them become beggars and then beat them back if their hijab is, not covered in the face correctly and all this nonsense. It's talking about you oppressive men too. You leaders, you imams, who instead of leading your people to paradise, you are leading them to hell. It's talking about you brothers too. So, don't just sit here and think this hadith is just speaking about women. It's about you corrupt leaders as well. The companions didn't know who the prophet was talking about because they didn't dress that way back in those days. And people weren't behaving like that. But we know who he's talking about because it's our age that the people are dressing nakedly. It's our age where we have oppressive rulers amongst us. Okay, so again, this is one of the most misinterpreted hadiths. And it makes me angry When I look on social media and see a lot of uneducated Muslims posting this hadith on their pages, directing it towards women, telling them that we can't wear a ponytail or a ball. This has nothing to do with your hairstyle. It's talking about the way you walking out the house looking like Beyonce and Britney. Hello, it's Britney, baby. Yeah, well, you keep on being Britney, baby, and see where you gonna land up with Britney. Okay, so again, I want to thank everybody for joining and participating in this session of our Hadith class. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.